Yo, what is going on, guys? Star Wars verse here, and welcome back to another video on Star Wars. And first off, I would like to say Happy New Year. I know I haven't uploaded for like 3 days or something. It's because I've been very busy, and I've uploaded on my main channel as well. And secondly, today's video is going to be something related to the Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And I came across this. Well, this news is like all over the internet, and it was very intriguing. So went on Reddit and I found this article, if you want to call it. It's not really an article, it's just someone saying something about this movie. I was very intrigued as the title of it was like something like a J.J. Abrams cut. Now, it's The Rise of Skywalker. What did I think of it? Even without the J.J. Abrams cut, I absolutely loved it. It was definitely it's definitely my favorite Star Wars movie so far. But I don't know, this J.J. Abrams cut's like really intriguing, and like this could have probably made the movie a lot better. Now, I didn't read it yet. This is the first time of me looking at it, and I'm gonna share it out with you guys. I hope this will, clear the air of like all the negative comments on Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Now, first off, you guys take this with a grain of salt, because we don't know if it's legit or not. But let's give it a read, and then I will give you guys my thoughts on this. And the article does look long, so this looks like it's going to be a long video. But anyways, since shortly after release weekend, I've been corresponding with someone who worked closely on the production of The Rise of Skywalker and works for one of the major companies I cannot disclose here. I have verified the source to my satisfaction. To protect the source, I am rewording what we spoke about over the last 2 weeks, and I'm submitting it to you in bullet point format I have written based on what they told me. The TLDR, whatever that is that they were upset with the final production of The Rise of Skywalker and wanted to share their perspective on how it went down and where it went wrong. The leakers for The Rise of Skywalker had an agenda and are tied to Disney directly. My source confessed that they have an agenda as well, in that they struggled with ignoring what's been happening to someone who they think doesn't deserve it. JJ always treated everyone on offset with respect to my source's agenda. Is that what Disney has done to JJ and how much they screwed him over should be something people are least aware of, whether you like him as a filmmaker or not. Disney was one of the studios who were in that bad robot bidding war last year. Disney never had much interest in BR as a company, but they did in JJ because they saw Warner Brothers, who JJ went with in the end, as a major threat. My source mentioned this shortly after the premiere. The Rise of Skywalker we saw last night was not the Rise of Skywalker we thought we worked on. Now, this is really interesting. Anyways, let's continue. JJ was devastated and blindsided by this. He's been feeling down over the last 6 months because of some ridiculous demands Disney had that changed his movie's story. While the scenes were shot, a lot of scenes were made in post-production, and the audio was recorded and altered. My source said they've never seen anything like this happen before. He's the director, and he wasn't in the know about what they were doing behind his back. Now, what the hell? So J.J. Abrams, he's the director of the Star Wars, obviously, and he's visioned The Rise of Skywalker. And Disney changed stuff behind his back. What the hell? Apparently, JJ felt threatened over the month leading up to the premiere. Ryan was never meant to do 9, despite some rumors that he was. Thank God he wasn't. JJ was brought back by Iger, not KK. Disney insisted on more fan service, less controversy. JJ's original agreement when he signed on was indicating he would have way more creative control, than he did on The Force Awakens. It became evident that wasn't the case only a couple of weeks into shooting when the trouble with meddling started. Now, okay, this is getting really annoying. I'm getting pissed right now. So JJ, he basically, Disney agreed for him to have more creative control than he had for The Force Awakens, and they changed stuff behind his back. Like, what the hell? Anyways, JJ wanted to do some scenes he thought were important, but Disney shut it down, citing budgetary reasons. What? Disney is like a freaking billion-dollar company. And this is like the last Star Wars movie we're getting of the Skywalker saga. And you're making an excuse talking about budgetary reasons. Piss off. Anyways, let's continue reading. May 2019, JJ argued that those scenes were crucial. He had to let go of one of the scenes. The other scene he insisted on was approved at first. Now, because they say at first, I'm guessing that this scene also got taken out behind JJ's back probably. But I don't know. Anyways, he did reshoots and additional photography in July. The new scene was shot at BR in October. And then JJ says, the ending that will blow your mind was a part of this. Oh my god, I just saw this. Older actors were included, like Hayden, aka Anakin Skywalker, Ewan, aka Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Samuel, aka Mace Windu, and anyone who wasn't animated. The Force Ghosts weren't meant to be voices because they shot that footage on camera. The actors were in costumes. Rey was supposed to be surrounded by the Force Ghosts to serve as sort of barrier between her and the Sith surrounding them. Oh my god. There is no way they just took that off scene. That scene would have literally blown everyone's minds off. Like, oh my god, dude. I would have loved to see Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi on our like screens again. Now, although yes, we're getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show in like 2 years time, but still, Disney just screwed up probably like the best opportunity ever to like make people go WTF, like get them shocked totally. Now, when I was seeing that scene and then Rey was like, be with me, whatever it was, her line, I was like, come on, Force Ghost, come on, show up. And then we just hear voiceovers, like, what the hell? Like, what's the point of hearing their voice if you're not gonna get them on screen? I would have loved to see these characters on screen. And they did say they were suited up in costume. What? Like, I'm getting disappointed right now. Like, Disney literally screwed over this movie. This movie could have literally become like the best movie Star Wars has ever made. Well, in my opinion, it still is. But like for other people who were disappointed, maybe this could have redeemed it for them. Anyways, let's continue. My source thinks, but can't 100% confirm, that this was because of China. It's an office talk of some sort. Some VFX people claim they got a list of approved shades of blue they could use on the Luke Force Ghosts. Cutting this out was when the bad blood turned into nightmare for JJ because the movie he was making was suddenly unrecognizable to him in almost every way. Oh my god. I know I've literally said that like 10 times already, but what the hell? Like, Disney is literally doing all of this behind the director's back, who was promised more control than he would have had. Let the guy make his own movie. Like, literally, you don't have to keep cutting parts out and making it, well, disappointing for other people. Now, with what I'm seeing right now, I'm getting disappointed as well. Like, this could have been at a whole new level. Anyways, my source knows JJ well enough to know that he's not the yelling type, but apparently in a meeting he yelled something along the lines of, "Why don't you just put directed and written by Lucasfilm then?" My source wasn't present for that exchange, but knows some who were. Disney demanded they shoot some scenes that would have things in it for merchandise. They Fly Now is one of them. Now, I agree. Let's continue because, okay, it's also JJ's least favorite scene. At a November screening of a 2 hour 37-minute cut, he cringed, groaned, and laughed when the scene was on. I agree. I agree. That scene was so ridiculous. Haven't you seen freaking Mandalorians fly? Now, I know they're talking about stormtroopers, but come on. Star Wars Clone Wars, I could 100% guarantee you we've seen clone troopers fly before. And then they put this "they fly now" scene. Oh my god. Anyways, my source says that JJ was most likely not joking when he said "you're right" in the interview where they asked him about the Rise of Skywalker criticism. Okay, so like this guy is even disappointed on what Disney did and like crushed his dream in making this movie. JJ's original early November cut was 3 hours 2 minutes long. They literally cut out like, I don't know, like over half an hour of what JJ Abrams could have made probably like the best scenes ever. In January, JJ suggested that they turn this into 2 films. My source told me this well before Turio mentioned it in an interview a couple of days ago. When Disney said no, JJ was content with making this 3 hours long. Over a period of 9 months, JJ started realizing that one by one his ideas and whole scenes were being thrown out the window or entirely altered by people who have no business meddling with the creatives. They were not on the same page when it came to creative decisions, and it became obvious that Disney had an agenda in addition to wanting to please shareholders. Disney could afford messing up episode 9 for the sake of the bigger picture when it came to protecting things unrelated to episode 9. The cut JJ eventually and hesitantly agreed to in early December was 2 hours 37 minutes long. It wasn't the cut we saw which he wouldn't have approved of, which is the 2 hours 22-minute long movie that we've watched. Apart from the Force Ghosts, there were other crucial and emotional scenes. The cut they released looked chopped and taped back together with weak scotch tapes, says JJ. The movie opened with Rey's training. Her first scene with Rose was shortly after Rey damaged BB-8 during the training. Rose made a silly joke about how Poe is going to kill her for damaging BB-8. There was a moment where Rey took a minute to process what just happened when she saw that vision during training. She looked distressed and worried. The next scene was noise as the Falcon was landing and Rey runs over there. The 2 women who kissed at the end were visible in this shot, and they were holding hands. One of them ran towards the Falcon as it landed. Kylo on Mustafar scene was 2 minutes longer. There was a moment where Kylo seemed a bit dizzy and his vision was shown as blurry for a second, almost as if time half stopped while everyone in the background was slow motion, fighting. Kylo hears Vader's breathing, then shakes his head and time goes back to moving at a normal pace, and he jumps right back into battle. The scene from the trailer where he knocks the guy down, which did end up in the movie later. Now, yes, it was like 10 seconds long, literally. Like, 2 minutes longer and hearing Darth Vader's voice. Yeah, now yes, we did hear Darth Vader's voice at the start, but that was like a different scene when he encountered Palpatine, obviously. But man, what the hell? They just took out another like a WTF moment that could have happened. Anyways, they cut some of scenes from the light speech, skipping the segment. Some of the planets that were cut were Kashyyyk, Naboo, and Kamino. Now, that doesn't really matter to me. That's not really a big deal. But like, come on, like this is the last movie we're getting and then we cannot like see the planets for the last time. Like that would like it doesn't really affect me, but like it would have it would have been cool for like other people to see. The end scene where the TIE fighters are chasing them through the iceberg, those corridors were inspired by a video game JJ used to play in the 90s called Rebel Assault 2, the third level in the game, which tunnels on Endor specifically. Janna was confirmed to be Lando's daughter. Rey not only healed Kylo's face scar, but she killed Kylo when she healed Ben. Kylo ceased to exist when Rey healed him. My source mentioned that some people assume it was Han Solo who healed him, but that isn't true, and that wasn't Han Solo. Okay, that was Leia using her own memories as well as Ben's to create a physical manifestation of his own thoughts to nudge him towards what he needed to do. That was her own way of communicating that with him. And it wasn't possible without her dying in the process. She made the ultimate sacrifice for her son and flew over people's heads with the Disney cut. The late November cut, the last cut JJ approved of, had scenes with Rose and Rey still. Now, I don't care about Rose, such a useless character in my opinion. She didn't even have to exist in The Last Jedi. That's how careless I am about this character. Anyways, JJ wanted to give a more meaningful arc. Okay, like this could have like allowed more character development for Rose, which could have been a lot better. And maybe I could have started liking her then, because like in The Last Jedi, she was useless. She didn't even have to be there. Anyways, Disney felt that that was too risky, too. My source mentioned that Chris Terrio said that it was because of the Leia scenes, but this is only partially true because she had 4 other scenes, including 2 with Rey/Daisy, that Leia was not in. Finn wanting to tell Rey something was always meant to be for sensitivity. In the 3-hour cut, it's explicitly stated there was a moment when Janna and he were running on top of the Star Destroyer and Finn needed to unlock or move something, and he force moved it and acted surprised when it happened. This was replaced with a CGI'd BB-8 fixing whatever he needed to fix on there. Man, Disney literally screwed up this movie. This could have been so cool. Now I know, like when Finn said like, Rey, I need to tell you something. Everyone's like, what is it? What is it? This could have explained what it was, and you change it to a freaking CGI BB-8 doing whatever. What? Anyways, Babu Frick was nearly cut because of something at Disney thought he would be the new Jar Jar Binks. They are really surprised that people love him this much. He was JJ's idea and was created in collaboration with some artists and puppeteers. The personality was all JJ. Now see what happens when Disney meddles with something and see what happens with JJ. Like people actually liked this Babu Frick guy. I even did. And Disney's like, no, we're going to cut him out. But thank God they didn't, because look what happened. There were a bunch of scenes where Rey and Kylo separately went through quiet moments of reflection to deal with what they were going through. On her part, her going through the realization that there's something sinister about her past. Him going through regret and remorse, but trying to shut it out. My source said that the Kylo scenes were especially amazing because of Adam's performance and how he managed to portray that inner turmoil. It provided much more context and added deeper meaning to both his battle with Rey and the final redemption arc at the end. It didn't happen so suddenly, and it was more structured than what we got. The Raylo scene where he dies was at least 4 minutes longer with more dialogue. Ben was supposed to die, always supposed to die. Source also added that if he hadn't, then that might have been in an earlier draft, which they haven't read. The first draft they read included Lando, the first few didn't. The Raylo kiss and Ben's death was not part of the reshoot. It was a part of the re-editing. Even the cut that JJ thought was coming out earlier this month had a longer version of that scene that was shown in the theatrical cut. JJ was against the Raylo's kiss. Now, okay, this is the first thing I disagree. Thank God they put Raylo. I actually liked Raylo. And I was predicting that would happen since episode 8, and I thought we would have got it in The Last Jedi. But still, we got in The Rise of Skywalker, and I think it was a good way to end Ben Solo's character arc. Anyways, JJ was not happy with the Last Jedi took the story. I agree, The Last Jedi was awful. The final result is a mix of that story and the story told by Disney and whoever they try to impress. Certainly not the fans. I completely agree. JJ is gutted over the final result. Star Wars means a lot to him, like it means to us fans. He had to sacrifice large chunks of the story in The Force Awakens, but he was promised more creative control on The Rise of Skywalker, and instead the leash they had him on was only tightened as time went by. A source said that this is one franchise and one piece of his work that he didn't want to mess up, and instead turned into his worst nightmare. When he found out that he was blindsided with the cut they presented, he said WTF. When Kylo was fighting the Knights of Ren at the end, and the Williams music that was used for it was not what he wanted at all. He seemed to think it was out of place. JJ's cut still exists and will always exist. We almost likely will never see it unless someone accidentally leaks it. Please leak it. Now, yes, I know I do not have much subscribers, but for my subscribers, I would just like to say, make a hashtag in all your social medias, whatever. Just say, release the JJ cut. And yeah, I am disappointed. Disney literally screwed JJ's basically passion over like that. What the hell? But anyways, guys, that's it for the video. It's been too long anyways. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe, and tell me in the comment section what you think about this, what Disney has done. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.